Where does he get, there we go, these wonderful toys? Welcome everybody to a new edition of Netheads. My name is Will.
And I'm Trent.
Oh, wait a second. I'm hearing, yeah, you're Trent, and I'm hearing myself. 1 second. How embarrassing. I've got us loaded and running somewhere. And I don't know where. There we go.
He's running around in the background.
Yeah, fuck him. Hold on a second.
Okay.
Let now we look like rank amateurs. God damn it. Here we go.
Episode 326, the Nog-A-Thon.
I have to be heard because I'm the music.
Yeah.
I'm the music. Okay, let's try this again. Okay, you ready?
Yes.
All right. Nog-A-Thon 2020, take 3. In 3, 2.
Hit me!
Episode 326, Nog-A-Thon 2020.
You've got to throw some cold water on this situation. Start talking about nerd stuff.
You know, nerd culture is mainstream now, so when you use the word nerd derogatorily, it means you're the one that's out of the zeitgeist.
System activate.
This is Netheads with Will Wilkins and Trent Hunsaker. It's a tech podcast. But we are a ton cooler than your typical geek.
You guys rock.
And now, here's Will and Trent.
No one listens to the radio. I wasn't even listening. I was listening to podcasts. Podcasts are great. Radio's boring.
That's right, everybody. Welcome. Another edition of Netheads. My name is Will.
And I'm Trent.
Nope, that's not Trent. That's a distribution list. That's Trent. There we go. Nog-A-Thon 2020, everybody. It's just as 2020 as the rest of 2020. Grab your moose mug full of Nog or whatever. Trent avoids the cream-based items.
Cannot do dairy and alcohol. It's an affront to God herself.
It was now for those that don't know the lore. First of all, welcome. So nice to have you here. So nice to see you all. Like Zach Byerly chiming in saying Will's boss must be rubbing off on him. Not sure what that means, but ew.
Mr. Smith, right? That boss, not IRL boss.
Gotcha. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And Ash Williams chiming in. It's still a thing? Not really.
Yeah.
And Christopher Colon chiming in on Twitter saying hello. So welcome, everyone. If you want to follow along, you can one of many ways. One of the main one of them is the Twitter, the tweets, the twats. Trent, tell them how they can do that.
Well, our longtime good friend Miranda Janelle chiming in with the hashtag Netheads on Twitter with a classic gif of Letterkenny's "That's fucking embarrassing" to our thrice attempts at opening the show. For those of you listening on the podcast, don't know what I'm talking about. I wonder if Chris's name isn't Cologne instead of colon.
I don't know, dude. It's Twitter. I have no idea. I write it off, folks.
Fair enough.
Obviously, those of you that are listening to this right now or watching this, first of all, hey, big shout out to those that hang on and hang in. Mad respect. You are the true believers, and we appreciate you. So thank you. Obviously, real life and the crappiness of 2020 has somewhat impacted the production schedule, if you will, which means to say that when it came down to it, Trent's busy, I'm somewhat busy, and then we say, hey, you know what? Maybe I'll record something, and then I'm like, I'd rather watch The Mandalorian, which is what I do instead. So, yes, it's cologne like cologne, but I'm used to it.
Oh, okay. See, yeah, I was like, that is a Spanish last name, and there's an accent missing in the Avatar thing. I was like, I'll bet that's Cologne.
Yeah, so my apologies, but I am a horrible, terrible human being, and it is what it is. But
You're a traditionalist, though, with some classic eggnog for the Nog-A-Thon.
yes. Well, I mean, I don't know if I would go as far as classic because I don't want to give anything away about the brand maker, but it's it's like a Smirkland eggnog.
But
I don't speak for the brand of the company.
hold on, that comes with alcohol?
Yes, 14.75% by volume. Yeah.
Man, see, yeah, that's illegal in Utah. We don't get that. Anything.
Hey, Utah.
Yeah, dude, don't even get me started on Utah politics right now.
Dude.
And that cunt suck. And I mean that in the worst way possible. No, that asshole suck. That shitty ass. No, okay, I'm done. I'm sorry. We're not getting political. Mike Lee's the worst human on earth. Moving on.
Bro, though, come on. In the interim, by the way, welcome to day 282 of quarantining. I'm amazed I haven't been drinking before now. I didn't want to get into the politics, dude.
Yeah,
I feel like every 2 weeks in 2020, there's been a reason for me to message you about what's going on in Utah.
Dude,
most of all, though, bro, the monolith. The monolith, bro.
Yeah, right? So cool.
That was one of the coolest and most magical things of 2020 for 3 or 4 days.
Yeah, the one good thing that came out of Utah and 2020, the monolith, such a cool stunt pulled. Like I was more like hoping that when I saw the headline before I actually saw the picture, that it was a 2001 Space Odyssey replica monolith.
Right. And then we find out it's the more geometric perfect shape of a triangle.
Yes, yeah, which is actually better than my ripoff of Kubrick.
I completely agree. And first of all, I'm glad it wasn't a marketing stunt. It's not like suddenly we got Aero monolith water or what have you.
Right, yeah.
So I'm glad it wasn't that, but I am bummed to find out that we don't even know if the people that put it up are the ones that took it down, because it was reported basically 4 guys just showed up and make it disappear was the edict that was given, and in the late night hours of a Friday night.
Yeah. I mean, the some artists in southern Utah have claimed to have been the ones that orchestrated it all, but regardless, very cool. And the best part is we don't know how long it was there before it was spotted from the sky.
That is the kind of thing. There's another and this is in no way, shape, or form a direct comparison. By the way, if you're somehow catching this on one platform, just briefly, you can watch this after the fact, at least on YouTube and Facebook. Hopefully, I don't know what's working. So, but the Nog-A-Thon is there and available. It's an annual event, free for everybody. Certain members of our Netheads on Air Patreon, keep a lookout for something in your mailboxes. Keep a little Jimmy eye out there for that. But anyway, I was in many ways very envious because of that aspect, Trent, that we don't know how long the monolith was there, right? Much in the same way that Jimmy Kimmel did a stunt video of a girl doing a headstand, and then somebody opens the door and knocks her over and a big fire gets started, right? They filmed that and they posted it on YouTube and then just waited. Just frickin' waited to see when the internet, if the internet, would pick it up. And I'm sure this was much in the same way, although I would think, since a survey crew caught this, I would think there's some regular amount of time that they must fly over certain areas, so a pattern could be identified.
Yeah, I mean, if it's like most government surveys, probably at least 4 years, right? If they did it right at the end of the last survey.
Oh, good point. But judging by the materials and what it was made from, I think it's safe to say it hasn't been there too long. But still, my whole point was I would love to be able to do something like that as well, where just you do something on the or on somewhere, and then you're just waiting for it to be discovered. Actually, we kind of had that, if you want to think about it. Back in the day, I think Kieran was his name, our good friend, either in Australia or New Zealand. Sorry, I'm getting one of them wrong.
From Northern Australia. I forget the city. It's surfing country area.
Take your word for it. But he had done a hashtag Netheads in his area, and it was tagged Netheads on Instagram, and so we were just waiting to see if something like that would eventually pop up, and I think it was a couple weeks later that it did. So
and give him a follow too. Awesome artist. Reboot Stencils on social medias.
Yeah, there you go. We're plugging away, man. We're plugging away. We're knocking out the Nog-A-Thon. Speaking of which, we got a very special treat for everyone this holiday season. First of all, thank you very much. Secondly, because 2020 has sucked so bad for a lot of people, for a lot of reasons, yet we persevere. Trent and I thought we would do something really special where we were going to recreate the David Bowie classic with who was the one? David Bowie and
Crosby.
And who? Yeah, Bing Crosby.
It's the most bizarre thing that has ever been captured on film.
Yes, Trent and I are going to do our own rendition and recreate that now. You had the Bing Crosby part. That's why I didn't know it. I have the Bowie part. Let me just cue up the music. Okay, and here we go in 3, 2. What? We're not doing that. Are you high? No.
Oh, but do yourself. If you've never seen it before, it's worth watching once, just to be like.
What about the bizarreness of John C. Reilly? Yeah.
And Will Ferrell
duplicating that,
like, and not duplicating it with like a nudge and a wink, but like frame for frame, it is the exact same emotion and shot. Like, it's just as weird.
They were going for it, and I Michelle Kuzo says rum pum pum pum. I can get behind that. Also, part of one of my favorite lines from Four Christmases, when Dwight Yoakam, as the preacher, is up there and he's all brump, pum, Brad, get on up here. I don't know why.
Up.
I love it. Do you have a favorite Christmas movie, Trent? I don't know if I know this.
Oh, good question.
Right?
Well, if I had one, what would it be? I mean, the nerd thing would be, oh, Die Hard's my favorite Christmas movie. I mean, no, it's not mine. It's not even my favorite Die Hard, actually. The first one isn't. I prefer the second.
I gotta say, if I had a preference, mine is With a Vengeance.
Yeah, me too. I think I've seen the third the most, though, for some reason. I don't know why.
Which one is the third? Is that the one I'm talking about? Die Hard with a Vengeance?
Samuel Jackson.
Yeah, that's the one. Die Hard with a Vengeance. I think is it, which actually was written, I think, originally as a Lethal Weapon installment, if I'm not mistaken.
Up. Are you serious?
I am
interested. Did not know that.
I am very serious, but also, oddly enough, I think that is my favorite. Like, if I had to rewatch, first of all, I would rewatch the original. That one I would have to do. I would be obligated, if nothing else, but for out of respect of Alan Rickman, right?
Exactly. And I want, having now like gained such an appreciation of Alan Rickman, I need to revisit that film for the same reason.
Yeah, exactly. Just an amazing performance, and he's just he knows exactly what he is, a white collar criminal who just happens to be heading up basically a crime. And his delivery and commitment in the part is just, it's something that I drink in every time, right up to going up in the elevator with the executive, and he says, nice suit, word is Arafat has 3 of them or something like that, and he just throws it out there because he's letting them know, though, like, these are the channels, these are the lanes I drive in, buddy. Okay.
Right. And juxtapose that with, like, say, how Jeremy Irons plays his brother, right? He feels like a full-on, like, terrorist.
Yeah.
Just the difference in the roles they play, like, they're distinctly different in the choices they made as actors.
Yeah, but both were still... Well, actually, the Jeremy Irons one, that one was kind of like he was almost committed to a part while committed to a part kind of thing. He was showing he was just as clever as his brother, but he was having fun screwing with a cop while doing it kind of thing.
Right.
But still, for some reason, the third one, maybe it's because it's the first one that went... Well, actually, that's not true. 2 started dipping into absurdity at the point where he's blowing up a plane and using the ejection handle, on the ground in order to escape. That was almost Indiana Jones refrigerator worthy, in my opinion. But
God.
let's see now. Ash Williams is chiming in saying Gremlins, their favorite Christmas movie.
That's a good one. I am like Joe Dante is like top 3 modern, like, contemporary directors for me. And writers too. I think he's fantastic. So that's a good one. I'm not gonna lie. Gremlins might. I mean, there are very few things that I have, like, movies that I have sought out director's cuts or Blu-ray editions of, and that's one of them. So it might be Gremlins for me, actually.
I can respect that. Gremlins. I fell in love with that movie actually in the movie theater. Kids, when you look at this now with fresh eyes and probably say, oh, this is campy, or oh, this is ridiculous. That was the jam when I was a kid, ladies and gentlemen.
Like the brilliance of juxtaposing the literally, like, the cutest plush toy you could design against something so gross.
Yeah.
And to see one come from the other, it's like everything about that movie is really well done.
Yeah, it really is. Right down to the radio guy at one of the most chaotic parts of the film. Hearing the radio DJ, who's that? Are those some Rockin' Ricky fans? You're not Rockin' Ricky fans, and you start to hear glass shatter and boom. It just, oh man,
so good. It's a good movie. Now, granted, there's a brilliant sketch that Key and Peele did about Gremlins 2. And I'm not going to speak ill of Joe Dante because I respect him so much. I will say that watch the sketch by Key and Peele about how Gremlins 2 was probably made. There's speculation on it as it was pitched. I'm guessing they're probably not too far off.
That's another one that they broke the fourth wall with that one at one point, right? To where the very movie theater you were sitting in and watching was getting messed with by the Gremlins.
Yes.
Yeah, that one took some weird. I love it, folks. If you're a student of the Nog-A-Thon, Trent has got the thermal container filled with ice. So I think we should all take a moment of silence for Trent's liver and his head tomorrow. I should have warned you to get some. I think it's L-cysteine. Is the drug? I can't remember the name of it, but I think it is that. Actually, you know what? I've typed it so many times, Trent. I bet you if I go...
It's an alcohol inhibitor?
Not an inhibitor, but if you take this before bed, L hyphen... It's not come... Damn it. I thought it would come up in my autofill, but it didn't. But I think it might be L-cysteine. Cysteine. If I'm wrong, folks, just Google this. Apparently, it's great for avoiding the side effects of drinking. And I think you have to take like 1,200 milligrams or 2,000 milligrams before you go to bed.
Okay.
And yeah, L-cysteine. And that would apparently is a great hangover preventative. And this, of course, is great information giving you now that you can't apply it. It's not like you're going to run out and get it. Maybe you could pray to the monolith that doesn't exist anymore, for one.
Hey, it exists somewhere in some form. Matter cannot be destroyed.
It's in my heart, Trent.
Right, yes.
It's in my heart. What was it? I mean, that must have... I mean, like, for us, it was a fun novelty, and naturally it popped up in my Google News for you, because they're like, well, if it's Marvel, DC, or weird shit, he wants to know.
Right.
Which, by the way, I gotta say, I really wonder what the people at YouTube must think of me, because with the YouTube channel on the Fire TV, right?
Right.
I haven't made another account for my 6-year-old. So, right now, YouTube is pretty sure that Will Wilkins is a guy who really likes Odin Makes, watching people make things, pool maintenance videos, and then one of several different gamers in Roblox, and nighttime sounds to fall asleep to. That's what YouTube thinks of me.
Yeah, of course. I mean, none of which would profile you to be put on any sort of list or anything. I'm sure you're fine.
And it's normal. Hey, by the way, Trent, I want to tell you, I think during the hiatus, I think I sent you a link to something where I was like, you were on to an amazing idea, because now apparently somebody sells a opposable arm with a clip to hook your Nintendo Switch Lite up to.
Are you serious?
It popped up in one of those goddamn Facebook ads.
I knew it, man. Yeah, dude, I use that every single day. I use that.
Mm-hmm. And they even show somebody using not a separate controller, but they're just, I can't remember what they're using it for, but exactly what you do. It's the same thing. I'm like, a opposable arm. Oh my gosh. Trent's gonna just be so mad about this. Or
I'm just happy that other people are doing it, because I don't have the capital to shop that out to anyone.
I'm sorry, I'm still distracted by the fact that I expect you to like call out the plays right now that are happening for the
Oh my God, and a diving neck breaker. What an amazing accomplishment by Echo. He has really upped his game since joining Antifa.
Wow, that was something right there.
I literally went from Lauren Gardner voice mode to setting up the camera for Netheads, so it's fresh in my mind. I was literally just calling professional wrestling.
That's kind of, one of these times, I think, with all that spare time you have,
Yeah.
we should really sit down and get you to do that treatment for an episode, or maybe for the Nog-A-Thon afterwards. It's like, they're like, all right, ladies and gentlemen, the way he's emphatically agreeing right there with that call, that lets you know his mind has officially recognized he is drunk, ladies and gentlemen.
Let's go to a replay right now and see exactly when he loses cognitive resonance here.
And it's just gonna be you going like this.
Let's for the Patreon folks. Let's send me the footage, and I'll do a remix with Lauren Gardner doing commentary as a Patreon only thing. I'll totally do that. Absolutely.
Dude, I want to cry right now, because one, you're like, I want to make this piece of content, and two, you're like, I want to do this for our Patreon supporters.
Without them, we wouldn't be doing video. Well, we might be doing it on your side, but definitely not on my side.
Not anymore, baby. Yeah, tell me about it, man. I'm looking at a big, fat, multi-channel stream deck thingy thanks to that. So now I got a little one that I can do all the sounds with if I want. I've still got the old sound plant finally came out with an update. If you're wondering, like, for a lot of the people that are perhaps mixing kind of like a live show, or if you wanted that live show feel and you wanted to be able to play sounds and you had another computer, you can use this program Soundplant in order to map keys on the keyboard to play a sound, so that way they could fire off at a moment's notice.
And if you're looking for like not having to buy a full separate widget to do that for you, I mean, your computer can do it, it just needs to be told how.
Yeah, exactly. Soundplant has been great, and I've had a Mac that has been on like an OS version 2 old because it wouldn't run. They finally released a beta, so I updated it, and it works great. So I still got that going as a crutch if I want to go over there. But now I've got it set up with the other tinier Stream Deck. God, listen to these white streamer problems, am I right, man? Yeah, damn it. But anyway, I got the smaller one set up just to play sounds now, which is great. That's how eventually we did the open, and It's so great when technology works. And Trent, you want to hear a story about how technology doesn't work?
Oh gosh, I have many, but please enlighten.
I have had, let's just say, an interesting experience. I have two children, as you know, a 17-year-old and a 6-year-old, because why not? And in that situation now, we've had two children during the pandemic, of all things, that have been distance learning at home. So the internet has been a very crucial thing. Now, I used to use this little guy here, but it was about 4 years old. It was an Amplify HD. It was a great idea. It was a semi-decent mesh system. Worked pretty well, right? But we were having issues upstairs. I did my research. I looked at some things, and I decided the new direction to go was to go for the Google Nest Mesh. That was my idea, Trent. Right? Because you get that. It's supposed to cover just fine. We had in the kit, it was more than enough to cover the square footage we have. And then we would also have Google smart speakers, because that's what the nodes also are, because the nodes are the extensions of your wireless.
Right.
And I'm like, there's no reason not to. So Trent, you know how before the show I was doing a lot of talking to the stuff here in my room, getting the lights set up? Because I got a lot of...
Yeah, you put the lights at 100%. You changed the color a little bit. Like you were talking to the computer.
Yes, I was, because although that is in this room, that's actually the Alexa. I just changed it so it would be nerdier, like I was talking to the main computer on Star Trek.
As if you were Jean-Luc himself.
Yes, as though I were John Luck Pickard himself, my friend. So anyway, I found something interesting. Now, without getting too technical into it, Nest, Google, the name sounds good, but folks, if you have smart devices, run. Don't walk, run away from Google Nest, because in their Nest, what they will do is they will set up, basically they put all your devices and you on another subnetwork. They're doing another level of network translation and addresses, and half the time shit doesn't work. I had 4 lights in the kitchen. Go ahead.
We have this problem at the university with Google devices.
Yeah?
Yeah, because of the firewall that we have set up on our local network, you can't, it gets very tricky because we don't allow any sort of subnet.
And all the different pieces of technology they've bought. You really thought they, Zach's saying first Costco, now Google. Will's just losing sponsors left and right. Amen, brother. But you know what? Sometimes you got to throw yourself on a grenade to help other people. So if you're like me and you're addicted to talking to all the devices in your house and making them go, I wouldn't go that way, because it creates a layer of complication for your smart devices. That's the easiest way to put it. I ended up going with something else. What I would consider an off-brand, ASUS. They have a Zen Wi-Fi system that is genius. It does the 5 gigahertz. It does the 2.4 gigahertz, whatever. It does those 2 options. Then it has its own internal third 5 gigahertz network that sets up a backhaul between endpoints.
Yep.
So it's got its own... all that is really technical. I'm not gonna lie. To get the 2-pack, it's a pretty penny. It's more than I would have liked to have paid, but I'm at least gonna offset it by reselling all this Google trash. But it so far it is great. You get excellent performance throughout the house and outside now. So much better. Do your research. Don't just go with names, and think about the things that you're going to be applying within your new home network to really research the best system. If I had done my homework before, I would not have had these issues, is what I'm getting at. It was surprising and shocking that, people that supposedly, are in the smart device business, do some pretty stupid things, I guess, huh?
Well, and I mean, Nest is a big enough company at this point now, right? Who's to say that they didn't just buy or contract someone else to develop it all? And dude, I see this with so much software now that because storage and data is so cheap at this point, things are built kind of shittily, just being like, oh, well, we can, we can hide that, or we can deal with this out of storage management, rather than making the most streamlined, most effective product. They're doing something that they can get done as like the builder the quickest to release it, rather than taking what probably should have been more time to develop it correctly for a better device.
It's good enough. It's good enough for production, and we'll be able to patch it right after.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Oh my God. I mean, no place is it more relevant than for those in diehard gamers out there who are, when a game is released, they're basically now it's standard practice to just release a beta and then not have a game actually function until a year later.
Funny you mentioned that. Cyberpunk 2077, whatever the hell it is.
Run into issues?
Apparently, a lot of glitches and issues on the PS4 versions and some other versions. Yeah, they've gotten a lot of backlash. In some cases, I think they've issued refunds.
Oh shit!
Yeah, it's pretty nasty. It has not gone well for them, needless to say.
Huh. That's interesting. I don't know. At least didn't know anything about the franchise until a coworker of mine was telling me that his son had approached him, had been like, "Hey, Dad, this is something. This is what I want for Christmas." And so he, being the good, responsible parent, did the research and was like, "Oh, this is like Grand Theft Auto in Cyberpunk world. No, you 12-year-old boy, you do not get this game."
Yeah, exactly. It's I heard it described as Grand Theft Auto on steroids, I think was the way it was described to me. So, Miranda Janelle bringing up, it's a good security measure to have your Internet of Thing devices segregated in a separate network, which I completely agree. I haven't done that, but what they're saying is I have the ability to set up a guest network, right? So instead, my guest network could be all of that crap, and all the computers are on separate devices. It's a really good thing to do. It's running okay on my Xbox One, Evie Garland pointing out. So so there we go. It's cool there.
At least from what I've seen, the cinematics or what is supposed gameplay that I've seen advertised, it looks pretty damn impressive as far as a graphic side. I don't know if it was built in the Unreal engine or not, but regardless.
What isn't now, dude? The Mandalorian is powered by the Unreal Engine. The stuff they do, I can't remember the name of that stage, the core or whatever it is, but it does a gigantic thing where it takes a look at, it knows what the camera is seeing on the background that it's doing. So it's doing a low-res version of everything else, and exactly where the camera is, it keeps moving and doing that parallax stuff to keep the things they need in focus. Mind-breaking technology powered by a game engine. Game engine.
Dude, we are finally on that cusp of past the uncanny valley, right?
You haven't seen all of the Mandalorian season 2 yet, so
this is true. I accept that. Yes.
Everybody that knows exactly what I'm talking about. And
is there something that's kind of not the best as far as CG goes?
Just get through it, and please promise me that the moment you're done watching The Mandalorian, we can then be probably 2 weeks late to the boat to talk about it at the, compared to the rest of the world right now.
Yeah. So yeah, you're not going to get reaction videos from us.
This past Saturday, the day after Fat Man Beyond did their basic, summary video, talked about it for an hour. So, come back in February 2021 to hear our hot take on it. Right? Yeah, I mean, Anyway, so yeah, Google Nest bad, Unreal Engine good. That's where we kind of land on those things. I am
Bad.
Speaking of which, other cool things going on in video games as well, Trent. Fortnite had a big event going between seasons, because as you know, they do seasons, and going from season 4 to season 5. Season 4 had a lot of Marvel licensing.
Yeah.
It was interesting, the choices, because you did have Captain America, you did have Iron Man, but then they went with She-Hulk instead of Hulk, probably because Paramount. Doctor Doom, Storm, and one other who I can't remember. But anyway, it was a very Marvel-centric season, which ended up ending with Galactus, the Devourer of Worlds, showing up and trying to feed off the 0 point, which is apparently some quantum energy thing that is underneath the Fortnite island. So that's why the game and the hunt keeps repeating over and over. I don't know.
Okay.
But Galactus was feeding on that. So then the entire audience took part in basically bringing Galactus down. So
Dude.
it was, and it was 10 minutes of cool that was much better than Rise of the Silver Surfer or whatever it was.
So I actually, because I am like such a Silver Surfer / Jack Kirby / Fantastic Four fanboy. If you I need to just do a condensed cut of Rise of the Silver Surfer, because if you take out everything except the stuff with the Silver Surfer, it's a great movie. Granted, it's 5 minutes long, right? But it's really good.
Okay. I'll take your word for it, brother. I'm on board.
No, that's the thing. Like, one thing I respect so much about Marvel in their management of IP is that they do so little with Galactus. And so that whenever Galactus is used, it's a big freaking deal. Because he is like when the only instruction that Jack Kirby gave, or excuse me, that Stan Lee gave to Jack Kirby for issue 49, which is when we see the backstory of Galactus of the Fantastic Four, was actually he appears in issue 48, but the backstory isn't given until 49. The only direction that Stan gave Jack was the Fantastic Four fight God.
Damn.
And then Jack just right? And so, like, I appreciate that they keep that reverence for the character, for the Devourer of Worlds, that like, we're going to pull him out and it's going to be a thing for 5 minutes and then that's it, because he's a god.
Also a pretty hard concept, I think, to get the mind across. He is this gigantic being. So think of a humanoid, but really, really, really big. And he devours planets. Oh, wait a minute. What do you mean? Does he take a bite out of them like an apple? No, it's a little more complex than that. But see, already, the typical person is like, I'm moving on. I'm gonna go watch The Mandalorian, and that's
and
what
then
they get.
to further complicate things, he's an elemental force, like good and evil, meaning that he must exist for creative elements in the universe to also exist, because he exists. He's the only thing to have transferred from the last Big Bang to the current Big Bang. So he's the only piece of continuity that keeps the universes tied together.
So he's a necessary evil, is what you're saying.
Exactly. Yep.
Damn, that's deep for a guy with 2 receptors on it. What the hell is that thing?
But apparently,
Yes.
Depending on what civilization you're from, you view Galactus differently. We see him as we being like, if we were Earth 616 continuity, actually, we see him as the Asgardian.
I'm sorry. I just love that all I have to do is go, and you go, actually.
and I do like my hybrid of Conan O'Brien's nerd voice and comic book guy's
Yeah.
voice.
I like it. I like it. Anyway, you were saying, I apologize.
No, the visage that we know of that is Galactus is the Asgardian view of him, as we are in that section of the Nine Realms.
Ah, so he's perceived differently. So
Yeah,
I think
So the
Babylon 5 had a character like that too, where every civilization basically would see a different visage of it. And like if a human were to look upon that race, we see them like an angel kind of creature. So
Okay.
All right, so I've at least got some real world examples I've seen in fictional material. I'm lost.
Yeah.
But, you know, the Nog flows on, Trent. That's the important thing to remember. Galactus is a really hard concept, though, to really sell to people, which is probably why in Rise of the Silver Surfer they represented him as a gigantic cloud, because, you know, what the hell else? Because then you could at least envision a cloud going around something and slowly consuming it, or, you know...
Yep. And it's honestly it's a lot more believable and easier to pull off 13 years ago, CG wise, than having like a giant man in a purple skirt drop down onto your planet and say he's going to consume it.
Yes, I think that's a special treatment that'll cost you an extra $40 in Amsterdam.
And the gender is very fluid at that point.
Right? That's what I'm saying.
Speaking of Marvel,
Yeah.
Will,
Yeah.
there's some stuff, albeit, you know, the state of the world that we live in, there are actually releases for each film.
Yeah.
Done. The one I'm most excited for is the character for whom probably the general populace is the least familiar, Shang Chi.
Yeah, actually, that one was announced when God, seems like an eternity ago. That I remember back when I was like debating whether I was going to do San Diego Comic-Con 2020 because 2019 was so great. I was in the room. I was in Hall H when they made that as part of their announcement for the upcoming film slates, I think. And that one was announced, and I'm like, wait, what is that? Because it was him against the 10 Rings, I think, was what it was billed as.
Yep, exactly, yeah.
So
yeah, no, I just like everything that I have done, and I've kind of done a deep dive on trying to like look at the cast and the directors and everything else, because I'm a big fan of Hong Kong martial arts films, which are different than like Chinese, like mainland martial arts films. Regardless, and this is done very much, at least the American release, I'm assuming, will be very much in the sense of like traditional Hong Kong, the best idealization for an American audience, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon style lore and cinematography of a Marvel film, which is something that we've really not yet to see. I mean, even the huge flop that was Iron Fist.
I was going to say, think of everything that was wrong with Iron Fist and then flip it.
Yes, exactly. Like think of Iron Fist, and the best scene of that entire series, the Drunken Master fight scene, which is television just chef kisses, moi, 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 for an entire movie. And so like
don't ever do that again.
The chef kiss moi.
Yes. No. Okay. You may continue.
The lead on this, who's playing Shang-Chi, is Simu Liu. I don't know how to pronounce it because I can't read.
Go ahead, keep digging that hole, buddy.
But he's the cat from Kim's Convenience.
From what?
The CBS sitcom Kim's Convenience.
Never saw it.
Or maybe you saw what else has he done?
Keep stretching.
That's kind of his big thing.
Don't you hate it when you can picture somebody in your head and it's like, You know, they were in the third season of. It's like, dude, you lost me at that point, right? Alone.
Seriously, that's kind of up until this point. That's what he's most known for, which is interesting because he's primarily like a stunt actor. Like if you get on IMDb and you look at his film role, which is fucking bonkers good. Like the fight scenes that they put on the roll or the reel is insanely good. It's none of it is acting. It's all the fight scenes he's choreographed. Anyway, it's got like of everything else I could kind of just pass on for 2021 as the MCU goes, but this one I am really, really excited and fingers crossed. I have no idea. I haven't looked into other casting outside of like the creative side of things. Fingers crossed we're gonna get a cameo from Sir Ben Kingsley as the Mandarin again.
Well, that was one of the things that was mentioned by Kevin Feige on the stage, is that there is a real Mandalorian, and he is none too pleased with Ben Kingsley's display. But I hope that does mean, because I know we did get an extra bit in one of the shorts on one of the home video releases where basically you got to see him in action in prison, right?
Oh, with Sam Rockwell, who is, in my opinion, the unsung hero of the Iron Man franchise, who should have a long history in the MCU as the leader of Hammer Industries. God,
it would be nice. Well, one of the things that they announced in the investor call that happened was basically the Iron Suit Wars storyline or something along those lines. So I'm wondering, I think Kevin even speculated if they were going to bring back Hammer for that. I would love to see Justin Hammer return. That would be nice, because Rockwell's got every time that guy's on camera, he just seems to eat up the scenery like it's an all-you-can-eat buffet, and Will hasn't eaten for the last 12. I'm sorry, I'm projecting now.
Dude, no, you're spot on, and the hell of it is with Sam Rockwell, dude. It's every movie he's in.
Yeah, that's a guy that does not mess around.
I don't care if it's Moon, if it's Seven Psychopaths, or if it's Mr. Right. Like, he can be given any role, and he just comes out making you be like, this was a great movie. It may not have been, but he makes you feel like it was a great movie.
Dude, his performance in Galaxy Quest. Oh, right?
Yes.
Because he's like, I mean, first of all, he just got to have fun, because he got to play like the Z-grade level celebrity that was an extra on one episode of it, and he's been working that con schedule to the best of his abilities. You know, he's got you predict he's got a money belt. He can break down exact change no matter what denomination you drop for the photo and signature that you're going to be getting from him. You got all of that from the character, and he was so versed in the lore that when his character is then thrust into this very what is that term that I always wondered if this a very postmodern vision of both being in this real situation and juxtaposing it on what would happen in the show, and his complete utter breakdown, realizing I'm the no-name extra that's doomed to die here.
I'm the red shirt in this case.
Yeah,
literally.
exactly. God almighty. By the way, Galaxy Quest, my favorite unofficial episode of Star Trek ever.
Dude, and such a commentary and love letter at the same time. I'm sure I've told you this before, but I minored in Portuguese in my undergrad. We spent an entire semester in one of my courses just studying that film. And how American culture dominates and influences other cultures, in this case, Brazilian culture, and how that film mimics that so perfectly. I'm telling you that in 100 years from now, we're going to look back and it will be seen as a as I don't even know because it cinematically we look at Citizen Kane for all of its work as far as the techniques of cinematography, not necessarily the story. I don't in 100 years I don't think there will be a film that touches the story impact that Galaxy Quest has. I know that sounds fucking like Bizarro World weird, but it's true, man. I'm quoting it now so that the AI that's studying us I might be drunk, Will.
I think that is a great moment that we'll replay in the playback commentary that you are going to be dropping a little bit later. But that was beautiful, man. Hey, speaking of which, speaking of beautiful, and speaking of the AI and the algorithms identifying the things we say and we do, in my youth, Trent, I was, although you wouldn't know it from looking at the wall behind me, I was, my friend, a massive Back to the Future fan. I loved that movie. Other than Raiders of the Lost Ark, it's the movie I've seen the most in movie theaters. And as one often does, I was doing stupid searches, and one of the things I did a Google on at one point was Back to the Future jacket. Back to the Future 2 jacket, because there's that ridiculous futuristic jacket that he's wearing in the movie.
This is Marty posing as his son, right? That jacket?
Yep, Marty Jr. And it's this ridiculous, uncomfortable looking thing that looks like a mixture of rubber and neoprene, like scuba material. Looks like something that wouldn't survive very long before, after being camera ready for a few takes. But for some reason, I did a search on that, which means later on, I don't know if you have heard of this this great internet nemesis known as Wish. Have you heard of this?
I've heard stories of the Wish, and I've seen it come through my Facebook ads nonstop. And I'm a sucker for the Facebook ads because I'll always swipe to the side on my mobile to see what other things it thinks I want.
Yes. See, you're having fun with it, but I've got this nice collapsible pool, right? The large one of which my wife bought, but the fine print, the measurement was not in feet, it wasn't in inches, it was in centimeters. So this pool that we thought at least one of the dogs can go in, I could soak my feet in very nicely. You got to watch out for these ads. Now, Wish is something even worse. I haven't gone too deep on it, but basically it's like a vendor marketplace where they sell things very cheap because you wish you could get it for this price, I guess. But, it's never really what you expect. I don't have a demonstration of the ad to show. Honestly speaking, I'd been saving this. This sounds so sad, but I'd been saving this for a TikTok because I've even got the image that if I were using the right filter, I could go like this and it would show you the Wish ad for the Back to the Future 2 jacket-inspired hoodie. So I'm sure if you Google that, you'll get some variation of what is in this package right here, Trent. We're unraveling. We're doing a Wish reveal right here in real time. Now, if you look at the photo,
is it a zip-up hoodie? Is it a pullover hoodie? What are we working with here?
I think it's a pullover hoodie, so I will not be modeling it. But now, if you were to Google the ad, you would see a jacket that appears to be pretty much like what you would expect from a hoodie. The only difference is like around these pockets that are supposed to be the overextended neoprene pocket covers because, of course, Marty Jr.'s auto-fit jacket isn't auto-fitting correctly.
Right, yeah. It does for Marty proper, but not for his son.
Because Doc bought a new one. Don't whereas Marty Jr.'s would have been worn out or secondhand.
I always interpreted that as the style, like the way hip hop artists wear their jeans because of supposedly Bismarck E being so large he couldn't find jeans to fit him correctly. I thought he wore it baggy for style. Like he didn't do it on purpose.
No, I viewed it as his shit was busted because his dad was a broke corporate America executive. That's kind of not executive, but corporate American worker in Yeah.
In my mind, I always thought he was doing pretty well because he was able to bring home Pizza Hut for the family, because Pizza Hut was a big fucking deal for me as a kid.
Fair enough, man. I get it. Pizza night used to be a big thing in my household too. So
I didn't understand placement at that time either.
So it looked impressive, and I gotta admit, our good friend the Cologne, Christopher Cologne says, "I bet it's just printed on cloth." My friend,
oh no, is it really?
Wapow! Yes, it is. Which I'm sure for everyone looking at home, they're like, "That's not so bad." But when I'm looking at it here, this area around it, if you're familiar with enlarging graphics or images, you know there's a little thing, a tiling distortion that it can occur when you're trying to blow something up bigger than it should be, right?
Oh, pixelated.
You've gone beyond the threshold of the quality of the image, and this bad boy here has done just that. Although I admit, it's not... It doesn't look on camera. Again, on camera, it doesn't look too bad. But you get in tight on those words there, and it gets a little pixelated.
Yeah, almost like they built one vector, and that was for the extra small, and then everything else was just a JPEG after that one vector.
I think it was made from a JPEG. Somebody probably made a good design of this, and then somebody used the thumbnail to print this in lower grade quality, which also, by the way, the material it's made out of is more of a rayon, so kind of a not close to a spandex material. It's at least lined, but even that liner is again like a polysynthetic, so it probably will keep you pretty darn warm too. But yeah, there it is. It's a gem.
I'm glad though that it captured in the original piece, in the costuming. It does have that like Singer Superman style honeycombing.
Yeah, right there.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like because for me as a child watching that movie, that to me, I was like, holy shit, that's really cool.
Right?
And I didn't know if it was just like a separate layer of like nylon string that was placed over top of it, or if each piece was its own honey like combed in there or whatever. But I mean, from a 2D perspective, on compressed probably 6 megabytes data rate footage, it looks really good on my side.
Now we come to the other part, Trent.
Oh no.
That's where we have used the sizing chart they provided.
Yep.
We went with the largest size they offered, which I think purportedly was a 2XL. And all I'm saying is that maybe it's a good thing I did not ship your Christmas gift package yet. Based on your photo, I think this may be something more aligned with your size than mine. Here we go.
We're going neck deep here, Will.
Oh God. Oh, I'm hearing Chris Farley in my head at this very moment.
Oh no, Richard, what's happening?
Oh, that is kids. I'm not gonna lie, that is snug.
That's Spanx worthy.
No, it's not even that. I'm full blown sausage roll right now. Is where I'm at. That's where I am. I hear that same experience with a cheap Iron Spider. I had that same experience with a cheap Iron Spider-Man hoodie, and the 5X was an American 2X. Yeah, this. But I wrote the sizing chart. I mean, I'm like, okay, wait, no, those measurements are right, but it's still. Here, I got to cut to you because I got to get it. This thing is.
No. So this exact same thing happened to me with. It was like I don't even remember, but it was, and I totally bought hook, line, and sinker for an Instagram ad of like this leather company that was going out of business, and so they're selling all their inventory, blah blah blah, and I'm like, oh shit, okay, this is a really good leather riding jacket, and it's got a mandarin collar, which is what I prefer, blah blah blah. I'm like, awesome, this is totally what I want to get. That's a great deal. Click buy, looked at their sizing chart, measured my chest, did the whole thing. And I got the largest size they had, and I haven't tried it on lately, but it's been sitting in my closet for over a year, and it was a joke to even put it over my arms when it arrived in the mail from China.
Yeah, that was not good. That was not good, sir. I'm not gonna lie. And if you don't want it, I may know somebody else. But damn, maybe Blair could wear that thing. That's what I think.
What's the there's a what is the Latin term? Caveat emptor.
Yes,
Something
caveat emptor. Let the buyer beware. But I guarantee you, I will not be wearing this because that is too damned. I'm just seeing if it has any type of sizing. No, it doesn't have it. Oh, 2XL, 2X. Y'all lie. You lie like a rug. Santa gonna remember you.
Bullshit right there is what that is. That's some bullshit.
Some of my friends may say that's not kosher, is what that isn't. Hey, I'm gonna try something here really quick, Trent, because we've seen Lurch, right? It's Lurch.
Oh yeah.
We've seen Lurch moving around in the background there, but a lot of people.
I apologize. I yelled quit into the microphone at one point because he was shredding a sheet that he lays on down here as his bedding. Sorry.
It's a dude. Half of the audience was probably saying the same thing about me, so don't worry about it. Okay. But as many of you may remember, one of the last times that you've seen us, we were just a couple months into Winston's tenure.
Yes.
Which, by the way, you'll see him on the holiday card when you finally get it in. I'm guessing the new year at this point.
Sure, right.
But he is now over 5 months old. And hey, Winston, you want a treat? Come here. He's been chewing on the Jessica Jones statue. Got knocked down by Vector, and he's been chewing on it. Apparently, great. That's a.
Now, and for those who are listening, like they may not know that I am such a fanboy of Winston_Pem_Corgi on the Instagram because, and I sent this to Will in a text, like I feel like I know this dog on a very, I'm not going to say intimate, but far the greater than a platonic level, right? Like I feel like I have a love for this dog because his Instagram account is so fucking good. I get cute. Look at me. My fingers are curled. Like I have cute aggression just thinking about this little guy. Oh, yes.
Here he is.
Oh, boy.
In all of his glory. Hey, buddy, you want the rest of your treat?
Oh,
you want some eggnog?
Oh, dear Kirkup. Oh my God.
He just had his first bath, and the funniest part is because of that now, his coat has spread out. Look, I'm not going to say he was filthy, but like it's some things have changed, like the fur around the jawline here. He definitely has those Wolverine mutton chops out now, and
yeah, like there's not the weight of just, dander and dirt weighing it all down.
Yeah.
Oh, he's the best fucking boy ever.
We got a compliment on his colorings too. His blaze, which is the stripe goes up the middle, and
yep.
Yeah, he's everything I've always wanted in a dog.
I'm telling you, tricolor dogs are the most expressive dogs there are. And I honestly believe it all comes down to the eyebrows.
Yeah.
When a dog has coloring on over its eyes like that, I'm dead serious. It gives the most human-like expressions because that part of the fur will move with their facial expressions.
There you go.
Oh,
buddy.
what a good boy.
Hold on.
Boy.
Hold on. Here's another treat for my public shaming of you. There you go. There we are. Boy, I tell you though, everything I read about the breed, they were not kidding. He is very intelligent. He is heavily needs to be engaged, and he needs probably way more training than I'm giving him. However, I will say that this past week, we also reintroduced trying to get him into walks, right? And the first day, it was kind of hit or miss, start and go. The second day, he was first hesitant and then went into it. And the third day was one of those ones where I'm like, buddy, come on. We're just in the first mile. you may want to relax.
Yep. Yeah. Now, if I'm wrong, please correct me. The breed originally, right? It was bred for vermin capture, right?
No,
For
those were the dachshunds. These guys are herders.
Oh, okay. So I was way off on this one then.
How dare you, sir? How dare you? How could you?
To quote the great hormone monster Rick, what you gonna do?
I don't know, man.
Oh, I highly recommend, not with any of your children present.
Yeah.
Watching Big Mouth on the Netflix.
I know my daughter, Emily, I should say. She has seen that. I have not watched any of it, and I just
had I been a adolescent, a teenager, and known what I was going through was a normal thing, had Big Mouth existed when I was a teenager, my teenage years would have been so much easier.
Right? Yeah.
It is. Oh man, yeah.
It's
watch
not just you.
watch Big Mouth when you get a chance. That's great.
I will. Actually, I have to admit, just a little bit earlier today, as long as we're talking about what we're watching, earlier today, I actually look, CBS. You guys got some cojones, okay? I'll say that, because during a pandemic, to release your limited series redo of Stephen King's The Stand.
What?
Yes, on CBS All Access, it's The Stand.
God damn it.
I don't know how many multi-part it is. I think they've only released the first episode so far. CBS, much like Disney Plus, supports the weekly release traditional broadcast relationship, which to a degree I'm all for, because you have the ability to either see the story while it's unfolding, or like you're doing with The Mandalorian. You can wait. You can watch it when you want to watch it and do it on your schedule all at once, or you can get hooked in week by week. So the first week is dropped, and I did watch it, and I think in the parlance of the kids nowadays, watching this kind of thing during a pandemic hits a little different, Trent.
So it's interesting because I tried to create a meme at the very beginning, like we're talking March 2020. You know what? If you follow us, use the hashtag Netheads on Twitter. I'll find it because I posted it at one point. That was the opening scene of Stephen King's The Stand, the miniseries, which we all loved and adored in the late 90s.
The ABC miniseries.
Okay, yes. Like it affected me heavily as a child. That I just don't know if anyone could touch Gary Sinise's portrayal of it.
I gotta say that I was very quick to abandon that association. Although it's very, very strong in my mind, especially. Why can't I ever remember his name? But he was Cyclops. Huh?
Oh, nope. Sorry, I was way off.
Cyclops in the original X-Men series.
Right.
Why can't I remember his name? Anyway, he's Stu Redman this time. But, I was very quick to abandon it because they've taken an interesting approach, if I'm guessing what they're doing correctly, because it's such a complex tale to tell in the beginning. The first episode just kind of focuses on Franny and, oh God, what's his name? Loudermilk. Not Loudermilk.
Yeah. No, I know who you're talking about.
Harold.
Yes.
Franny, Harold, and Stu. It kind of just focuses on them, which makes sense because, we get parts of the story through their perspective and through their experiences. And then they'll move on to like Larry, Underwood, and the deaf guy, deaf mute. It makes sense, especially since the last part of the story, everyone's together now. So, yeah, I know I'm coughing now.
Wait, so how many episodes is the series?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I haven't done any research, but
I even last Christmas Yeah, it was last December. So December 2019, I found it in the miniseries in a Walmart DVD bin, and I
Ooh.
was like freaking out because I was so excited to finally be able to watch it on not the low res way that I had found through a torrent of other ways on the internet to find things.
I'm with you. By the way, look who came back on his own. He never does this. Never.
Dude, so even people on the I popped over to the Facebook comments for a second, and Michelle Kuzo is just being like, OMG, Winston is so freaking cute. Yeah, dude. Like, I just look at my fingers curl again. I just want to like.
It's okay. Around the house, I am told that I know, buddy. Your fascination with me is past again. Here we go. Yes, my family tells me, Dad, he's just a dog. Dad, you are obsessed. Dad, we're tired of hearing about Winston. But let me tell you one more thing about Winston.
Yeah, I get it.
If you need a daily dose of serotonin, my favorite thing, because all of our pets are crate trained. The crate is their safe space. It's never used as punishment. It's just where they go to rest. They know they can go there.
It's for their safety, for their pleasure, it's for them. Crate training is for the dog's health, not yours.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. So anyway, sorry, I got distracted by something else I read. The Winston in the morning, when you first let him out, the other dogs, the Samoyeds we have, you let them out and they will instantly go for the back door. They want to go outside. Regardless of whatever pressures that Winston may be feeling from any of his release systems, if you will, the first thing he does when you open the crate. So now what I do is I will open up the crate and then I will go over and sit on the carpet, because he will come up like a cat and just look for attention and lean into you. Yes. Right? And just ask for all of the attention. And he is so adorable and so cuddly and so loving. I'm not saying he's not like that during the rest of the day, but it is one of my favorite parts of the day now.
Dude, there is something so pure about like a dog's interaction with its people that like there is nothing like it in the world. And to that respect, I constantly have to remind myself that regardless of species, sometimes, Trent, no means no. In that, if you want to cuddle me right now, I should fucking respect that.
I understand. Oh man. Anyway, Trent, I think you've already admitted that. And as I see you, are you desperately tipping the container over, trying to get some water out of it now?
I know my white balance is hot, but yeah, it's my exposure is hot. I'm out of ice at this point. So
well, folks, if there's any sign that we should call it, that is probably it, because. Lord only knows what alcohol he's mixing with whatever dollar store soda that he is.
It's cachaça, which is a Brazilian-only specific rum made of sugar cane, mixed with Brazilian's own Guaraná Antártica, which is a soda made from guaraná berries.
I don't know what any of those are.
I accept that.
Well, what flavor profile does it match?
It's the flavor. Interestingly enough, the flavor profile is similar to that of a apple beer. The soda is.
Oh, okay. All right. So all right. Okay, good. Now that sounds like that would be delightful with a rum, Trent.
It really is. Yeah, and the rum itself is it's weird because it smells like tequila, but tastes like a white rum.
Okay. Oh, well, there you go. Actually, I don't even know. It's weird because I recently saw something, and they were talking about turning sugarcane into rum in an area similar. I don't even remember what it was on, but how did that happen? Just it terrifies me the way some things come together in this world, and that's one of those real time examples.
In traditional rum, it's made from the secretion of molasses. But cachaça itself is manufactured a little differently, distilled a little differently, which makes it unique to just Brazil itself.
Zach B pointing out that it looks like Mountain Dew. Well, I mean, I
accept that.
I thought the label was a little more Canada Dry ginger ale inspired myself.
I'll be honest, Will, that is what the marketing does, in fact, look like. But if you were to show this to anyone from South America, they would know exactly what it is. Guaraná now is actually used more in energy drinks than anywhere else.
Oh, okay. Guarana?
Yes, that's the American pronunciation.
Look, man, don't come at me with your hoity-toity. I know Portuguese. I can sound more Brazilian than... what? I'm sorry, was it supposed to be Guarana?
Guaraná.
Guarana.
Guaraná.
I'm going to stop now while I'm behind.
Yeah, no, I accept that.
I'm going to pull the ripcord. Zach B also pointing out, going to the 30, guys. I haven't drank enough yet. Zach, I have a funny feeling you can get through that without us.
You'll catch up.
You can just replay the whole hot mess that the first 30 minutes was anyway and just jam on that. But hey, Trent, in all seriousness, tomorrow on Christmas Eve, I do have a package going out to you. I took the Aunt Bethany approach, where
okay.
I dove into the Loot Crate grab. Well, actually, what happened was there was a subscription box two things came in, and I thought, oh, those would be good for Trent. So we took those and put them in there, and then I'm like, well, I can't just send this and that because it looks like what a crazy person sends their friend. So then I also included some other great things that came from Loot. I'm taking crap laying around my house, and now I'm making you lay it around your house realistically. Let's be honest, okay?
What you're telling me is I can expect a cat underneath my non-existent Christmas tree here shortly.
And a wrapped Jell-O mold, yes. No, tomorrow I will be taking them down because I was waiting for the Christmas cards to get printed because we weren't going to do Christmas cards, but then people sent cards and I felt
every year.
So I designed well, okay, it's a stretch saying I designed a card. Walgreens has templates. It's nothing original. Okay. It's not like I was like, okay, well, what are we going to do on this level? Let's do a little more auto contrast because it's just not balancing. No, that's not it. There was none of that. It was, this template looks like something we've done in the past. Hey, wife, can you send me some images to use for a Christmas card? We're not doing Christmas cards. Yes, I know we're not doing Christmas cards, but can you send me some images for the Christmas cards we're not doing because I'm now going to design one because I'm a card designer now.
My Etsy account.
Yeah, and then not only did I order them so late, Trent, so late, but then I delayed the order another day to opt for the curbside pickup option because that's how important this was to get out.
Well, I mean,
I didn't fill them out until this morning, Trent. And through all of this, I completely forgot about the box that I've set up and packed for you.
Right.
That I haven't sent. So it's, the simple fact that I actually have all of my gifts purchased in advance is in itself a Christmas miracle. My wife actually, too, through this most 2020 of holiday seasons, truly did all of her shopping online. She got the whole kit and caboodle done online. And I think I set foot into a Target twice. And that was it.
Were there a Target in my I'm drunk.
Mesopotamian area?
in my metropolis area, I've no doubt Jimmy Olsen would have gone there.
Right. Exactly. Well, actually, at the entry point there for that part of you, Logan. Oh my God, the name of Wolverine, who was also one of the characters in Fortnite. Neither here nor there. Groot was one of them as well. You could tell they were going with some of the B League characters. Was what I was getting at back then, but it was still a clever use anyway.
Yeah.
But isn't there a gigantic Walmart like at the practically at the mouth of the entry point to the town?
The town is bookend,
right,
and by Walmarts, one on the north side, one on the south side, and I swear to God, right in the center of the city is a Sam's Club. but no Target or Costco.
Go figure. But that's one of the things. I think that's one of their corporate rules, though, too, is that within a certain number of miles of a Walmart, there has to be a Sam's Club.
Yep. Yeah. No, I could not measure it more perfectly. Exactly. If you look on Google Maps, between the two Walmarts is a Sam's Club. But the gross medium income is not high enough yet for a Target.
Oh, okay. Well, that's it's college town. It's understandable. I get it.
Yeah. Yep.
By the way, wow, that's probably another layer of how much. Well, actually, no, it's Utah, so I guess probably the local economy wasn't too impacted.
No, it's a freaking bubble here in the most cultural and economic way possible.
Yeah.
Yep. If you don't know what I'm talking about, just look at the national news today. I'm sorry, everyone.
Oh no, again? Are you serious? California got to steal the spotlight a little while ago by being called an epicenter or whatever it's called.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yep. Mm-hmm. We still got that going for us. 2,000 deaths a day. Okay, we're having fun.
It's just really, it's just, it's, there was this one time I went over to a friend's house. I was about 12 years old, right? The first time I ever went over to this friend's house. And I walked into, we went to the back of the house where we were allowed to hang out. And he said, and here's my little brother. And I can't remember the kid's name, but the little kid flew over the bed, ran up to me, hauled his arm back and square off, hit me in the nuts. That
out
has
of nowhere.
Nowhere, dude. And I'm not just talking about pull tap, haha. I'm talking full on, I'm hitting a speed bag kind of whack. The kind that drops a boy, let alone a man, drops a man, let alone a boy, Trent.
Oh my God.
I would take that happening every month over 2020 for a year, I think.
Absolutely.
With that, folks, thank you very much for tuning in and joining us for this most Noggy of Nog-A-Thons, as apparently I butcher how to pronounce guarana, and Trent is going to do an amazing callback play-by-play on this for our Patreon subscribers. If you want to know more, go to netheadsonair.com. There's a link to just about everything. But
Lauren Gardner.
Yes, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. Not you.
We got to keep kayfabe alive, my friend.
I keep what?
Kayfabe. It's the storyline within the universe of the professional wrestling.
Gotcha. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate that. Including me in that. I appreciate that. And thank you, all of you, still watching or listening or doing anything that's involved with the Netheads. We really appreciate you. Obviously, this year has been the most challenging. It has been the biggest bucket of suck. Yet at the same time, I think, interestingly enough, for the both of us in our creative and our professional areas, probably some of our busier times. So,
without a doubt,
we'll attempt. Yeah,
we've been doing this for 10 years as Netheads.
This much is true. This much is true. Slipping into 2021. We'll have been doing this and we've already been doing it for 10 years because it was the year before that in
Okay,
March.
I that year was kind of like blurred for me, but yeah, I knew we were creeping up on 10 years, 9, somewhere around there.
Yeah, it depends on the whole point is, and this is the other reason why if I'm like, hey man, you got time, and you're like, no, not really. It's because like it's been 10 years. You're one of the few people that 10 years later still talks to me. So, which by the way, in this 10 years, I feel like you're back to 10 years ago fighting weight right now.
I'm lower than that, actually.
Good golly, you posted an image earlier, and I was like, I thought I was doing good. I thought I was looking good, and then I saw you, and you were like, like I said, maybe this hoodie is coming to you, my friend.
I broke the 200 mark this week. I'm in the 190s now. I haven't been this light since the aughts.
1990. That's when I 1990. Wow. I'm old.
Yeah,
bro.
dude. Yeah.
Yeah, but it has been almost this year coming up. Well, I mean, technically it'll take us till like September, but shit, if we're still talking in 2021, winning, or not, but run with me on that one. But yeah, it's been a decade of us doing this, and I always mean to supplement it with other stuff, but then like even doing this, I feel bad because there are other things that also need to get done, and those take me away from my family as well. So it's been, but creatively speaking as well, though, I know that this is some of the. There are two things that I come away feeling like this from. One is having a great conversation with my wife, and the other is having a great conversation with you. So I thank you for that as well, because when we're able to do this, it is I always walk away with a pep in my step, and my heart grows 3 sizes that day. There we go. That's a Christmas way to end this, which I really got to do because Winston's losing his shit. So.
Understood.
Anyway, folks, thank you very much for tuning in. Thank you for listening. Merry Christmas, happy holidays, and all that jazz. Hopefully every one of us has an amazing and much more enjoyable 2021 as so many things change, hopefully, in the new year. Much love, one love to all of you. And until next time, my name is Will.
And I'm Trent.
And we'll be back
soon.
This is Netheads with Will Wilkins and Trent Hunsaker. Signing off. I know, right? But stop being a little Nancy and deal with it. Netheads. Netheads. We'll be back soon.
Goodbye.
This has been a production of Smodco Internet Radio. Sir, only at smodcast.com.
Look, I got to admit, I was worried, Trent, because I don't really think I've had any alcohol in 2020. I can't think of a time that I drank, right?
Dude, the last time I drank was in June. Like any alcohol, it was in June, and it caught up to me pretty quickly.
I'm looking for. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That wasn't played up. That was literally me trying to react because I cannot wait for you to hear that last statement after the fact. Because, whoo, doggies. But. I was really worried, but I'm feeling kind of good. But now I'm kind of. You're coming off like, yeah, Will. Hey, Will. Well, let me tell you something. I like you, man.
I've been watching the color of my face go from like beige, vanilla to like bright red throughout the entire broadcast.
I got to tell you. It's okay, Trent, because the good news is I'm so cheap that you are just a screen capture of the video call, and because of that, I think the sepia tones for the night protection on my screen kicked in, so it's done. It's done a nice little color. I don't think anyone ever saw the rosiness, is what I'm saying. I think that I don't know, Kevin. What do you think? Does that sound good?
Oh my God, that's nice. That's really good.
Okay, so we're clear, man. We're clear. We're good. Yeah, I think you're gonna be fine. Just remember water, Advil, and hug your dog. All right.
So say we all.
So say we all.